Hope we are doing well today. It has been a while since I've been on YouTube making video. Today I want to talk about the three wise men. The scripture gave us three distinctive names for these wise men. In the book of Matthew, they were called the wise men. In the book of Luke, they were called the shepherd. However, the New International Version described them as the Magi. There have been confusion. Who are these wise men? Where did they come from? Nobody knows where they come from. You see, when we watch the movie of Jesus, they are always portrayed as Europeans. But what is the truth? I want to identify the true identities of these wise men according to the scripture. These wise men were prophesied to come and see Jesus before Jesus was ever born. Now let's read the Old Testament prophecy about these wise men. Let the Normans of the desert bow before him, and his enemy lick the dust. Psalm 72 verse 9. According to the scripture, the identities of these wise men were revealed in Psalm 72 from verse 9 to 11. Now I have read verse 9. Now let's go to the book of Psalm 72 verse 10 and 11. May the king of Tarshish and distant shore bring tributes to him. May the king of Sheba and Seba present him gifts. May all kings bow to him, and all nations serve him. Psalm 72, 10 to 11. Now the Bible describes or tells us about three names. One is Tarshish, the king of Tarshish. The second one is the king of Sheba. And the third one is the king of Seba. Now, who are these kings that came to see Jesus? In Psalm 72 verse 9, they were described as shepherd, and verse 10 and 11, they were described as kings. So these were not ordinary shepherds, they were kings. And you know that kings does not travel by themselves. It's traveled in multitudes. The shepherd or wise men that came to see Jesus were not three. They came in multitudes. But however, only three of them who were kings, who were shepherds, presented gift to Jesus Christ. Now let's see the identities of these kings. One is the king of Tarshish. Now, who is the king of Tarshish? Tarshish or Tarshish was the son of Javan, who was the grandson of Japhet. Hebrew name for Greece is Javan. The ancient kingdom of Javan is known today as the Greek nation. And Tarshish was the son of Javan, who was Greek descent. In the book of Ezekiel, the kingdom of Tarshish was also associated with Javan, Tubal, and Meshach. These names were historically associated with the people of Greece, Cyprus, Italy, Spain, and Portuguese. While Meshach is associated with Russia. The kingdom of Tarshish was only located in Europe. These are European nations or European district. Many scholars believe that Tarshish was historically associated with Iberian Peninsula, which is our present-day Spain and Portuguese. But what did the Bible say about Tarshish? In the book of Ezekiel chapter 27, verse 12 and 13, Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 13, In the Amplified Bible, the land of Tarshish is our present-day Spain, who was a descendant of Greece. So one of the wise men that came to see Jesus was a European, according to the scripture. He was from Tarshish, who is our present-day Spain, who was a descendant of Greek. Now the second king was the king of Sheba. The king of Sheba is a Semitic king. Now, Tarshish was a European king, and Sheba was a Semitic king. The ancient city of Sheba is currently located in our present-day Yemen, southwest Arabian Peninsula across from Ethiopia. So the descendants of Sheba were mixed Ethiopian and Arabic bloodline. Habakkuk chapter 3 verse 7. Prophet Ezekiel associated Sheba and Ethiopian as one people in the Arabian. Ezekiel 27:22. And 2 Chronicles chapter 21 verse 16. The Bible also associated the land of Media, who is an Ethiopian land, with Sheba, of which Moses' father-in-law was a Midianite. So these were mixed Arabic and Ethiopian bloodline. In the Bible, we also heard about the queen of Sheba, who was an Ethiopian descent, who had relationship with Solomon, and was believed that they have a son together. So Sheba and Ethiopia in ancient time, in 6th century BC, was one empire. Sheba represented the Semitic descendant of Abraham, who came to see Jesus and presented gift to the baby Jesus. The kingdom of Sheba was rich in precious stones, gold, and frankincense. Ezekiel 27:22, Isaiah 66, and Jeremiah 6:20. So the second king who came to see Jesus was an Arabian king, who was the bloodline from mixed offspring of Ham and Shem. And these are the founders of Arabic nations. 2 Chronicles 21:16 and Habakkuk 3:7. I strongly believe that the gold that was presented to Jesus came from the king of Sheba, because the Bible tells us, to him shall be given of the gold of Sheba. Psalm 72:15 and Matthew 2:11. The third king that came to see Jesus was the king of Seba. Seba was the first son of Ethiopia, of East Africa, the grandson of Ham. Genesis chapter 10, 6-7. 1 Chronicles chapter 1 verse 9. The people and the nation of Seba can only be found in Ethiopia district. The Amplified Bible tells us that Seba is a province of Ethiopia. Isaiah 43 verse 3, Amplified Bible. The men of Seba were known as Sabeans. They were men of great statures. Isaiah 45:14. The third king that came to see Jesus was an Ethiopian king from East Africa. Ethiopia of East Africa was the first son of Ham, and Seba was the first son of Ethiopia, who came to represent the nation of Africa when Jesus was born. Each kings from the three sons of Noah came to represent their nation when Jesus was born. The sons of Japheth were represented by the king of Tarshish, which is our present-day Spain. The descendants and the sons of Shem were represented by Sheba, which is our modern-day Yemen. And the descendant of Ham, the youngest son of Noah, were represented by Sheba, which is the first son of Ethiopia, of East Africa. So you see that the descendants of the three sons of Noah were all well represented when Jesus was born. I also believe that the frankincense that was presented to Jesus was given to Jesus by the king of Sheba from Ethiopia, because frankincense was the product of East Africa and has been traded over 5,000 years ago. It was later frankincense was brought or introduced to Europe by the Frankish Crusaders, who were from German and French descent. In the Amplified Bible, frankincense was the trade of Sheba and Ethiopian Raman, who were in the district of Ethiopia throughout antiquity. Isaiah 66, Jeremiah 6:20, Ezekiel 27:22, Matthew 2:11 in the Amplified Bible. So the wise men that came to see Jesus, one was European, Tarshish, Spain. One was Semitic, Sheba, from our modern day Yemen. And the other one was Hamitic, Sheba, from Ethiopian district. We have Europeans, we have Arab, and we have Africa. These three represented their nations in the birth of Jesus Christ. So the identity of the wise men, according to scripture, were descendant of Japheth, Europe, the descendant of Shem, Semitic Arab, and the descendant of Ham, Africans. So these three ethnicities, who were the descendant of the three sons of Noah, represented their people at the birth of Jesus Christ. These are the identities of the wise men, the Magi, and the shepherd that the Bible talked about to have visited Jesus when he was a baby. I hope this helped. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord guide you. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more teachings to come your way. God bless you and see you next time.